Father, for this day. Forgive us of the sins we commit knowing and unknowingly. We thank you. We bless your name. We thank you for allowing another day above the soil, Father. Another day to read your word. And going straight into the word, we're going to start in Romans 6. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin so that Allure can show us more favor? Absolutely not. If we are dead to sin, then how could we go on sinning? Do you not know that all who are immersed in the name of Yahuwah Mashiach share in his death? When we were immersed into the Mashiach, we died and were buried with Mashiach. Just as Mashiach was raised from the dead through the esteem of the Father, through our immersion, we are raised to new life. If we share in Yahuwah Mashiach's death, then we will also be raised back to life with him. We know the person we used to be was nailed to the stake with him. This was done so that our sinful bodies would no longer be slaves to sin. We know that sin does not have power over people who are dead. As surely as we died with the Mashiach, we believe we also live with him. We know that death no longer has any power over the Mashiach. He died and was raised back to life, never to die again. When the Mashiach died, he did so once and for all. But now he is alive, and he only lives for Allure. In the same way, we must think of ourselves as dead to the power of sin. And now that Yahuwah Mashiach has given you life, you now only live for Allure as well. It's the hardest thing about this whole journey. Killing the flesh, dying to sin completely, only just living, focused on Allure, the Most High, purpose, ourselves. To be honest, it's the hardest thing, just to focus on ourselves. We're always worried about somebody else. We're always looking for family because we didn't have family. Looking for friendship because we didn't have friendship. Looking for love because we didn't have love. Looking for whatever because it was lacking at some point in our lives. Dying to the world, completely. Cutting off these phones, man. Trying to cut off these phones, trying to disconnect from this phone is one of the hardest things for me to do. I'm not even a scrolling type of person, but I'm a learning. I'm always trying to learn something, view something about stocks, crypto, what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? But still always in the world. I just want to die to the world sometimes. I just want to turn off this phone and never have to turn it on again. You know what I mean? I'm always waiting for, well, let me get to this place where, I've got a home and all these things, and then I'll just, but I'm always wanting it to be perfect. Always looking for the perfect time to say, I'm done. It's got to be right for me to say I'm done. It's time to move on. Let's keep going. But as I was saying, we'll start back at 11, verse 11. In the same way, we must think of ourselves dead to the power of sin. And now that Yahuwah Mashiach has given you life, you now only live for Allure as well. Do not ever let sin come back to rule over your body. Because, man, that's what it is. It's over your body. It really does, you know what I mean? You can find yourself back in situations, you know what I mean, that you just said, I would never do again. Like, I'm past that. And then you slip up. And it's back over your body again. It's, remember, your human body is going to die. So do not obey its human desires. This is a spiritual battle. You know what I mean? We're in these human bodies, but everything going around or going on around us is completely spiritual. You know what I mean? And we've got to tame this body. We've got to get this thing under control. We've got to be able to tell it no. You know what I mean? It's not to say you can't do things that are pleasurable, but we've got to be able to control and put it inside of this box of control, really. You know what I mean? A box of control. You know what I mean? He didn't say we can go and have a plethora of women, right? He said, hey, I would better, it's in the word, it would be better if you didn't have any women. But if you're going to go get a woman, go get you one. You know what I mean? Just get you one. I'm cool with you getting you one. You feel me? And, you know, that's what you should do. You know what I mean? And, you know, but wait for him to bring that one, though. That's a whole nother subject. Okay, back to it. Remember, your human body is going to die. So do not obey its human desire. Neither let any part of yourselves become a slave to any evil. Instead, give yourselves to Allura as people who have been brought back to life from the dead. Offer all the parts of your body to Allura to be used as weapons to do what is right. Sin no longer has dominion over you because you are not under the old covenant law. You are now under Allura's favor, which allows you to be obedient to his will. Under favor, we under favor, you know what I mean? We just have to obey. Do what's right. You know what I mean? I know it's hard. It's hard to say, let me just do this. You know what I mean? So many ways. I don't want to go into too many details. We all know this journey of letting things and people go that we shouldn't, to be in alignment with what we know is right, is a difficult journey. But it says it right here. It says, you are now under Allura's favor. Let me highlight that. Which allows you to be obedient to his will. What shall we say then? Shall we sin because we are not under the old covenant law? Absolutely not. We shouldn't. You know, not to say, you know, not to say we'll be perfect, you know what I mean? It says it clearly in the word that all men sins, you know what I mean? But we should always be walking that narrow path. And as we go down that path that becomes more narrow, we get more tight, you know what I mean? In the way that we handle ourselves and conduct ourselves, you know what I mean? We don't conduct ourselves in the same ways that we used to. You know what I mean? We continually, gradually get better. It's not an overnight change, you know what I mean? Even when you start working, even when you come to the realization of who we truly are, you know, as these melanated beings, being the chosen true people of the Most High Allura, it still is difficult to get yourself in alignment, and you know, you don't change overnight. We're not a being that changed overnight. We've been indoctrinated for years. We've been told these things are right for years. I was told since a child it was okay to go to clubs. I was sent to clubs, little kids clubs, as a child. So I grew up going to clubs and nightclubs, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I got to get out of that. I have to backtrack and get out of that. You know what I mean? I've had to come out of that spirit of wanting to go party, go to the club, you know what I mean? Get a bottle, get a drink, you feel me? Get a section, you know what I mean? That they got, ooh, let's not even go into it. Okay, let's keep moving on. So again, what shall we say then? Shall we sin because we are not under the old covenant law? Absolutely not. Do you not know that if you offer yourselves to be obedient servants to someone, that you are servants to the one you obey? Do you not know that if you offer yourself to be obedient servants to someone, that you are servants to the one you obey, right? So if you offer yourself to be a servant, you are that servant, you know, must obey, right? If you offer yourself. This is true whether you are a servant of sin, which leads to death, or a servant of the kind of obedience that leads to righteousness. tell you which way to go. You go towards righteousness, it's all good. You know what I mean? Go towards sin, it's death. Obedience leads to righteousness. You don't get no clearer than that. I wish they would have told me this a long time ago. I should have been reading this a long time ago, but hey, we're here now. All right. However, thank Allah that although we were slaves to sin from our entire heart, you became obedient to the proper teaching that was delivered to you. Thank the Most High, you know what I mean, for waking me up. And that's what I'm here to do, to wake you up. You know what I mean? To get you in alignment, you know what I mean? So you can walk in obedience and you can see righteousness in your life. You know what I mean? You can see the fruits that are promised to us. You know what I mean? If we just be obedient, you know what I mean? Like, just like any other daddy. Nowadays, most of us who probably come across my channel have kids. And we understand how we would love for our children to have just been obedient. You know what I mean? Especially like me. I've got children that are pretty much grown now, right? And I just wish they would have been obedient. You know what I mean? I wish they would have listened to me. But, you know what I mean? They grew up with their mother. That's a whole nother story. But we've gone through those trials to see how important it is to be obedient. It's just no different from the Most High. He wants his children to be obedient. I'm not about to bless you in the way that you want to be blessed if you're not obedient. You're out here just doing whatever. You know what I mean? What parent would do that? Only a foolish parent would. And that goes for the same for the Most High, Yahuwah, who is our Father. Like, he loves us. But until we get it together, you won't see the manifestation of the dreams that you have, you know what I mean, the wishes that you have, you know what I mean. How many of you are now at the point where you've been praying and wishing that you would be able to pay for your child's tuition to school, and maybe you got it done, but you barely scraped through it, you know what I mean. You were praying and hoping for years that it would just fall, money would be abundant to you, but it hasn't happened. Why is that? Why are so many people not living in abundance? Even if they are seeking the Most High in some type of way. Maybe because we're not walking in obedience to his word. I know my life changed when I started walking in obedience to his word. You know what I mean? Got one woman. It didn't work out, but I got one woman. I focused on that one woman. And that, you know, alone helped me focus on myself. You know what I mean? In many ways, but walk in obedience, seek him, do all these things, and all these things will be brought unto you. It's in the word. Read the word. Let's keep reading the word. And we'll read just a few more passages. Okay. Now that you have been set free from sin, you have become servants of righteousness. I am explaining things in simple terms because I know you are still learning. Just talking to us on here, like, man, it's an instruction book. If you just read it, I'm talking to you here. I am explaining things in simple terms because I know you are still learning. You used to let different parts of your body be slaves to evil thoughts and ways, but now you must make every part of your body serve Allah so that you will completely belong to him. Man, I gotta get there. I'm still battling. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm still battling to give all parts. Man, the mind can take you so many different places. The penis. This damn thing can take you so many places, have you doing so many dumb things. Oh my God. Woo! Let's read that again. Verse 19. In Romans 7, verse 19. I am explaining things to you in simple terms because I know you are still learning. You used to let different parts of your body be slaves to evil thoughts and ways. But now you must make every part of your body serve Allah so that you will completely belong to him. When you were slaves of sin, you did not have to please Alua. When you were slaves of sin, you didn't have to please Alua. You didn't have to please, you know what I mean? When we were slaves to the sin, you know what I mean? When we come out of that sin. Verse 21. But what did you receive from the things you did then? Nothing but misery. Nothing but misery. Oh my gosh. Walking in sin has led me to nothing but misery. Having children with the wrong people. Making connections with the wrong people. Falling in love and lust with the wrong people. Wasting so much time with the wrong people. Sharing experiences with people that I don't even, they're not here. Nobody's here. All these years walking in sin with people who are not here. They're not here. They abandoned me. You know what I mean? Family, friends, all these things. Walking in sin with so many people, and none of them are here. So it left me with nothing but misery, bad memories, you know, good memories too. You know what I mean? You still make memories with people. You know, even if you are in a relationship with people that you know you shouldn't be, there were some good memories, right? I always look at the bright side of things. Praise the Lord. Let us keep going. Verse 21 again. But what did we receive? Or what did you receive from the things you did then? All you have to show for that time is your shame that would have led you to death. Read it again. I'm a little dyslexic at this moment. But what did you receive from the things you did then? All you have to show for that time is your shame that would have led you to death. That's it. Looking back on it, all I have is shame. Woo. People don't know. Yeah, I got children with some real give me the best words to say. Some real demons. Got some children with some real demons. That's the only thing I can look back on in the time I was looking or living in shame, looking for people that I wanted in my life instead of allowing Alua to bring people to me. It's nothing but shame for the people that I was with and shared with and laid in bed with. Ugh. Forgive me. Forgive me for even touching some of them. I knew they was beneath me. Oh my gosh. Whew. Forgive me. All you have to show for that time is your shame that would have led you to death. Thank you for not letting it lead to death. Would have led you to death, but it didn't lead to death. Thankfully, I'm still here. Some people wanted to kill me. They wanted to unalive me. Some probably do want to now, but you got to forgive me. 22, verse 22, please. Now that you have been set free from sin, and you are servants of Alua. Now you have been set free from sin, and you are servants of Alua. This makes you set apart, and it will lead you to eternal life. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Alua is eternal life through Yahuwah Mashiach, our master. Everybody need a master. If you ain't had no daddy, you need a master, man. You need somebody to teach you the kung fu of life, baby. Shoot. Keeping it 130 with you, like, you need a master. Time to get off these phones. Time to disconnect and talk to the master. Get in here and talk to the master so he can teach you the ways to block sin, man. Because I'm telling you, it's up on us, man, every day. I done messed around and moved to Temptation Island. Ain't that crazy? That's what I told myself. I say, boy, I know I got to be a strongest soldier. I got to be. Because he sent me to the places where not too many people would survive. Niggas would not survive out here. Niggas would not survive out here. How much temptation out here on Temptation Island? Whoo. I'm just joking, guys. Until next time, we might read some word, we might just talk. See you then.